All right, guys, welcome to Finals Review, Chapter 6. We're going to review solving systems. So to solve a system by graphing, you graph the two lines and see where they cross, and their intersection is the solution point. So this first line, we're going to begin at the y-intercept, 6, and then the slope is negative 1 over 1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, and keep doing that because we don't know where the lines are going to cross. All right, so that's line 1. And then line 2, the y-intercept is negative 2, and the slope is positive, so 1 over 1. So up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, and keep going, and there you go. Once they cross, okay, pretend that's straight. Wherever they cross, that is your ordered pair solution, and that's at 4, 2. And the straighter you make your lines, the better you can see the answer. All right, substitution. That is when if you have a variable alone and positive, for example, y, you can take what it equals and sub that into y in the other equation. Okay, so we're going to rewrite the top equation, negative 3x plus 2, but instead of writing the letter y, we are substituting in 6x minus 1, and then still equals 7. So substitution. And then from here, we just solve like normal, distribute. So you get negative 3x plus 12x minus 2 equals 7. And then combine like terms. So that's now 9x minus 2 equals 7. And then draw your wall and solve. So if we add 2, we get 9x equals 9. Divide by 9, we get x equals 1. And now we need to find y. So if x is 1, just plug it into whichever equation looks easier. And 6 times 1 is 6, minus 1 is 5. So final answer as an ordered pair is 1, 5. And then lastly, solving by elimination. This is where you guys have to get either the x's or the y's to be the same number but opposite, so they cancel. So one thing to do here, see how this is 5 and this is 2? What if we multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 5? Well, let's see if that would work. So there's multiple ways to do these. If you multiply everything by 2, you get 8x plus 10y equals 200. And if we multiply everything down here by 5, we get 15x minus 10y equals 30. And then do you guys see how 10y and negative 10y are opposites? So when you add going down, you always add, these are going to cancel. And then we're left with 23x equals 230. So when you solve that, x is obviously 10. And then we got to take 10 and plug it back in and try to find y. So I'm going to plug it into the top one. It doesn't matter. So if x is 10, we have 4 times 10, which is 40, plus 5y equals 100. And then if you draw the wall, subtract the 40 over, you get 5y equals 60. Divide by 5, you get y equals 12. So final answer as an ordered pair is 10, 12. So that's elimination. Again, there's multiple choices you guys could have used to eliminate. And then remember, sometimes a system will have no solution. So sometimes when solving, you end up getting like 5 equals negative 3. And you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. That's no solution. When graphing, a no solution would be 2 parallel lines that never cross. Okay, sometimes a solution has infinitely many or all solutions. And this would be, you try solving and you end up with like 4 equals 4. And that's always true. What it looks like on a graph, it would be a line on top of itself. So they have all solutions in common. And then one solution is like what we've just been doing. That's when you end up with like x equals 3 or something. Like you actually get an answer. And when that's the case, when you're graphing, it would be 2 lines that intersect at one point. All right, if you flip the page, we don't have to do that. There were some word problems that have to do with systems. So there's one on here that I noticed we did not do, so don't worry about number 7. But if you guys want, let's set up number 6. So let's see, we're not going to solve it, we're just going to set it up. So Heather's school is selling tickets to a choral performance. On the first day, she sold 10 adult tickets plus 2 student tickets, and that was $98. Okay, so that's day 1. And then day 2, they sold 2 adult tickets and 10 student tickets. And that day they made $154. Okay, so that would be the setup, and then it would be up to you guys to decide if you want to do graphing, elimination, or substitution. I would probably do elimination, and I would maybe multiply the bottom by -5 to get my A's to cancel. But you have options. All right, and then we have the inequality systems. So just remember, a dotted line is if it's strictly less than or strictly greater than. And a solid line is if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. And then shaded above would be anything with a greater than sign. So greater than or equal to. And then shaded below would be anything with a less than sign. So less than or equal to. Okay, so given a shaded solution, can you write the system? All right, so let's do this purple line first. The purple line has a y-intercept at 3 and a slope of 3 as well, right? Up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1. Okay, and then we're shading above it. So it's going to be y is greater than or equal to 3x plus 3, mx plus b. All right, now let's do this dotted line. So the dotted line, our y-intercept is -2, and our slope is up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, so 1/2. So it's going to be y is, we're shaded also above, but since it's dotted, it's just greater than. And the slope was 1/2 x, and the y-intercept was -2. So that would be the system of inequalities. All right, that was a nice little review of Chapter 6. If you have any questions, you can ask me in class.